I'm Dr. Lori. I'm in Westport, Connecticut at the Goodwill store. Come thrift with me. So let's see what we've got down this aisle. I'll go right to these because when you went to the grocery store in the 1970s, you could get a cup, depending on how much you paid at the grocery store. You could get a cup with your groceries, and that's what these are. They're called Prestige China. There it is. There's the mark. They're very, very desirable. I see them everywhere. They are kind of the, oh, we're going to get these for our daughter's, hope chest kind of thing. And then the daughter doesn't get married, story of my life. So there you go. So if these are $1, they're worth about $1. There's a lot of them out there. They're of mediocre quality. But they're a memory for me and lots of other folks too. Ramekins are always good. What's this? This looks like, oh, that's a nice piece, but it's all broken. Whole thing is broken. Oh, it's Coalport. I'll show you why I looked at it and said, oh, I want that piece. And that has to do with all the hand-painted work. The thinness of the porcelain, very thin porcelain. But as you can see, it's been glued back together. So that's unfortunate because that's Coalport. But what's interesting to me is that Asian piece in the back. Let me see if I can get it. This is actually the bowl for tea. This is called a nuka glaze. And that's a really nice piece. Now, this doesn't have a mark, but there has to be pieces that go with it. And here they are. See these? This is a nuka glaze on stoneware. So stoneware ceramic, hand-built. You can see the ridges on the outside, showing you that it's a hand-built piece. This white glaze with the little abstract plum blossoms are Japanese. There's your mark. You're going to say, oh, Dr. Lori, I wouldn't know that mark. Well, I'm trying to show you what it looks like by the object itself. So nuka glaze is a stipple type of white glaze. It's called Shino pottery. It's very desirable. And it looks like we've got a whole set for tea. And we do. So we have the pot where the leaves will go in. You know it's been used because you can see that the rim, of course, has the staining of the tea leaves. It still has this screen intact, which is good. And then there's this piece on top. And it looks like you've got five cups. That's typical in Asian ceramics as well, to have 5, not 6. In the Western world, in the United States, we're used to having even numbers to be a complete set. In Asia, it's usually odd numbers. So they want $3 for each one. They're worth 10 for each one, 10, 20, 30, so there's 50, and then they want another 5 here. Yeah, they want another 5 here, so that's 50, so this is 75 for this group. So a couple of pieces here, and here's a good example. So this is Syracuse China, American made, federal shape. Federal shape means it's like the colonial, very traditional look. Transferware picture. That's the roses, and a little bit of gilded gold leaf. It's a creamer. Notice how beige the color of the clay is. When you look at a European piece, another traditional style creamer, and you can see this is a piece that's made in Bavaria by Johann Haviland. A lot of people get these pieces confused with Theodore Haviland in France. Well, these are Johann Haviland, and that is in Germany. This piece is very bright white clay, and it's hand painted. So if you had to take a guess of which one's more valuable, the hand painted piece is more valuable than the transferware piece. The bright white clay is more valuable than the beige clay or the brown clay. So that's what we're looking at with these. So in terms of it, that's what we're seeing in terms of value for them. And that's one of the things. This one's $2. This one's $3. So people are thinking, oh, it's Syracuse China. Maybe people want Syracuse China. People do collect Syracuse China, but in this particular case, the $3 Syracuse piece is worth $15. The $2 Johann, where the heck is it? There it is. The Johann Haviland Bavarian piece is worth $17. So it's worth a little bit more. So, I mean, basically, you're still going to get a bargain with both of them if you pick them both up, but people are thinking, oh, the Syracuse China will be worth more. Here's another one that's a little bit hard. This is a studio art pottery bowl. It's very beautifully made, and it is a lovely piece. If you see the bottom, it's unmarked. Why do I like it? I want you to look at how this is unglazed and this is glazed. So that's literally dipped. So they dip this side, but they don't dip this side. That's so when you put it down, it doesn't go all over the place, doesn't move all over the place. It's hand painted. It's done by a studio ceramist or studio potter. And these pieces, this has a $1 price tag on it. These pieces regularly sell for $30. Probably made right along the Connecticut shoreline by any of the major Yale University trained ceramists or ceramic potters. That's a really beautiful piece. So nicely done, hand done. That's a work of art sitting here. People say, oh, it's just a bowl, but that's really a work of art. Decorative pieces like these, you know, kind of hand painted, sort of looks like Southern potteries, but look at the brown on the side of this bowl, very, very damaged. So that means that temperature and humidity has gotten underneath the glaze and started to discolor the glaze. So while it's a nice bowl, it's not in good condition. It is $5, that's too high for it. It's probably only worth $7 in this condition, so I'd put that back. But this I really think is really very nicely made, a great piece. What are you looking for? This is a big baking dish, so you're gonna bake something like, oh, I don't know, what could you bake? A souffle or something like that you could bake in this particular dish. Look at the bottom. You see these concentric circles that have a little bit of space in between each circle? This is what you look for when you're looking for a good quality baking dish. French usually baking dishes. This one I think is made in the United States, but it's heavy, it's strong, it will withstand the high temperatures in the oven. This is a very nice dish. They want $5 for it. And if you were to see it in the retail market, you would easily have to pay $55 for it. And this is for people who are big chefs. I'm not a big chef, I burn things. But down here, they always make me bend. I guess it's good for me to bend. Okay. Here is a covered casserole dish. Now you see that? Right there you should stop. You should go, okay, I see the damage, I'm moving on. And I'll show you this side. So you see that the damage has gone through. So the crack has gone through the piece, all the way through. This is an English piece of ceramic. And if the crack is on this side and the crack is on this side, there's no saving it. One day you're going to put something in it and it's just going to all break apart. It did have a nice finial top. It also had a monogram. The finial top is nice. It's actually figural. So it's a little pine cone with a little leaf there. And then it does have the F monogram. Some monograms are better than other monograms. You're like, what do you mean? Certain letters of the alphabet are better? Yeah. Certain alphabets, more people's surname start with certain letters of the alphabet than others, so they're a little easier to sell. You know, like unusual letters like Q are more difficult to sell than an F might be. People like these. Remember when I was in Paris? This is actually made by an English pottery manufacturer in Staffordshire called Royal Stafford. And this is kind of nice because it gives you the Arc de Triomphe and it gives you a little viewpoint of course, Notre Dame and the Eiffel Tower, so the great Parisian landmarks. And then this is the mark I want you to all see, the Royal Stafford mark. Good English china. So usually sets, they would come with sort of the international set. So it might be this for Paris, it might be the Colosseum and Michelangelo's David, or the Sistine Chapel for Rome, that kind of thing. This is a nice piece. How much is this? Yeah, that's a $40 plate. This is called a charger. You can put it up on the wall, you can put it in a china cabinet, decorate with it, but this is a nice piece, and there are others like it. But again, I'm leaving that one back for you too. I leave all these things for you so you can find them. Same thing with these Asian pieces that we were talking about earlier. I think everybody needs a Grinch mug. I mean, everybody needs a Grinch coffee mug, period, you know? Even Cindy Lou Who. It looks like it's new. How much do they want for that? They want $1 for that? Oh my gosh, they want $3 for this Grinch. Well, I don't know. I think I'd put that back. I think he's fun though. Look how pretty that is. That's gonna go with everything. And it's made in Italy. And it's new. So probably made within the last 25 years. But let's talk about what the problem is. Maybe you guys see the problem. I like the striations. There's the mark from Italy. Look at this. So that actually is not going to just come off. See? Get a little bit of just regular dirt. If that doesn't just come off with your finger, then that's under the glaze. If it's under the glaze, you're not getting it off. You're not getting it to be not damaged. So I would say $8. It's probably worth $15. If it wasn't damaged over here, I would be somewhere in the $40 range. Why? Because I know the market. Because I watch what people pay, really pay for these items all the time. It's not about someone who's looking something up on a cell phone and you're watching or following a person who may not know the market. You know, they go, oh, somebody sold it for this or somebody's listing it at that. That's not the market. The appraised values that I give are based on sales records where a piece has sold, a piece like this piece. So that's where you are with this. I left the treasures for you. There's more to come.